Hey there, kitchen. So I have this new deck, and I know we've all talked about it. We've all a lot of you guys have asked me about it. This is the Inzektor dinosaur deck. This is the deck profile video for it, and this is actually kind of a two-parter. The second half of this video is going to be me kind of showing you how to tech your own Inzektor build into pretty much any deck you want. But we're just going to start off with my deck. So, monster lineup wise, 3 copies of Inzektor Dragonfly, 3 copies of Inzektor Centipede, 2 copies of Inzektor Hornet, 1 copy of Inzektor Gigamantis. That's it for the Inzektor lineup of the deck. I only run 2 Hornets because I find that 3, in the playtesting I did on Dual Network, 3 really gets a little clogged, and you don't really need 3 once you start using the loops out of the graveyard. It's completely unnecessary, so you really only need 2. 3 copies of Direct Guaiba, 3 copies of Hydrogeddons, and this is all specifically to go after Dolka and Lagia. For a little bit more control. So I got my Inzektors for the destruction, I got my dinosaurs here to exceed into a big part of my control for the deck. 2 copies of Marshmallow, because why don't you want someone that can't be destroyed in battle and has no adverse effects and is a light? 2 copies of Thunder King Ryo, 1 Sangan, 1 Plague Spreader, 1 Gores, 1 Dark-Armed Dragon, 1 Blackluster Soldier Envoy. The Dark-Armed Dragon is actually really awesome in Inzektors because Inzektors can pull other Inzektors out of the graveyard, so it's really easy to have that graveyard control to get 3 in the graveyard. Onto the spell lineup, I've got 2 copies of Pot of Duality. I find that I don't need to special summon every turn as long as I, plan out my moves accordingly. With Pot of Duality, I can really easily put an Inzektor, equip an Inzektor, and just kind of sit for a second, or I can, really quickly drop out a Thunder King, which is nice. 2 copies of Mystical Space Typhoon, Monster Reborn, Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, Mind Control, Allure, and a Pot of Avarice. Pot of Avarice really good at getting the dinosaurs back, looping, cycling, get a little bit more draw. Trap lineup, 2 copies of Call of the Haunted, 2 copies of Solemn Warning, 2 copies of Torrential Tribute, 1 Solemn Judgment, and 1 Mirror Force. And yeah, I got 3 Solemns in here between the Judgments and the Warnings. It's a lot of life points to pay, but it really can shut down your opponent from summoning. That's a big part, is just shutting down with this deck. Last thing is the extra deck. So the extra deck for this, I run just Cataster, a Bryo, 1 Black Rose Dragon, Stardust Dragon, Scrap Dragon, Magical Android, 2 copies of Utopia, 1 copy of Giga Brilliant, who I absolutely love and I think is totally underappreciated, 1 Leviair, 1 Exobeetle, 1 Leviathan, 1 Dolka, and 2 Lagia. So that's the Inzektasauras deck, and so now the second half of this, how to make any deck teched into Inzektors. So really, you see I have a very simple lineup here: 3 copies of Dragonfly, 3 copies of Centipede, see that, 2 Hornets, 1 Mantis. That's a total of 9 cards. So if you can find 9 cards in your deck that you have room for, right there you have enough room to tech in Inzektors. The Dragonfly and the Centipede are the keys to the loop. You want to be able to throw a Dragonfly first, equip it with a Hornet, hopefully, and then by sacrificing off the Hornet with the Hornet's effect, you'll activate the Hornet's effect to destroy 1 card. His effect will activate, and you're going to want to special summon from your deck the Centipede. The Centipede activates his effect, brings Hornet back out of the graveyard, equips, again pop off the Hornet. Now you can search, and you're going to either want to search out another Dragonfly so you can do the loop again next turn, or you're going to want to search out this guy, Gigamantis. Gigamantis can equip by his own effect, so even though each of these effects have been used up, you can really throw him onto like a Dragonfly, and that puts the Dragonfly at 24. So that's really nice. Also, a lot of people, are wondering if this card is useful, the Inzektor Beetle. Yes and no. Honestly, it's a crapshoot. Sometimes it'll be extremely helpful and sometimes it won't. But if you are going to run this, you need to run this, because that's the combo you really want right there. Is you want to use his effect to bring him back out of the graveyard. His original attack will become 24, and then you'll get half the attack, which is another 1200, putting his attack at 36. So that's really the optimal way to go. Plus, if you use his effect to knock this into the graveyard, you'll be able to special summon an Inzektor back, start your loops back up. Alright, Team Hell's Kitchen, get out there, start winning some duels, hit me back up. I have a huge commons list I'm looking for, so please get back at me if you have any of those. And may the heart of the cards be with you. Peace.